Hey guys, I liked your videos on Teilhard, and so I'm kind of inspired to do one as well. And I think what I want to try and touch on is his concept that he calls creative union. And what this concept can be expressed in two words which Teilhard often uses, and it's union differentiates. It's a key in understanding Teilhard's system. It is kind of paradoxical, the two words union and differentiates, but it is easily observable in the evolution of the universe. For Teilhard de Chardin, the evolution of the universe is a sort of union. It is a union that's taking place, a union that's becoming. It's not completely and fully united yet. And so what the concept expresses is that the more closely it is united, the more differentiated it will also be. Let me see if I can give an example to explain what it means. And Teilhard gave this example, and it is when you imagine, if you can imagine the earth before there was any life, and you can imagine it's atoms and molecules, and then what happens is that it complexifies over time. The universe moves in the direction of complexity. So atoms come together to form molecules. Molecules unite, become more complex, form supermolecules, till eventually they form cells. And all these atoms and molecules and cells are differentiated into all sorts of different structures in there. The more evolution happens, the more time happens that there can be more complexity, means that there is more unity, and because of that there's more differentiation. And that is why in the biosphere there can be a differentiation. There can be so much differentiation of life. Like the biosphere has millions of forms of life, and has had millions and millions of forms of different lives, and that did not exist in the geosphere, or when the earth was just a bare crust and was not that complex, and thus not that united, and thus not that differentiated. And so the more evolution happens, the more it proceeds, the more it complexifies, the more it unites, and the more life differentiates. That is the concept of creative union. Union differentiates. And for Teilhard, this happens also in the social sphere, which is the noosphere, and which humans constitute the noosphere. And so as humans come together and they unite, they complexify their social relations with one another, they also differentiate themselves. And it's a great concept. It's a concept of unity, and a concept that you will not lose your individuality in unity, but you will find your complete personality in and through that unity. For humans in the noosphere, the unity with our other fellow human beings, and by relation the rest of the universe. And then only at the end, at the omega point, is a sort of paroxysm reached, as Teilhard often calls it, and the universe is completely united in what he would call Christ, the second person of the Trinity, the Logos, the omega point, and only at that point is everything completely united, and then Jesus can give it to the Father, and God can be all in all, and life will be infinitely differentiated. It will be eternal life in complete unity. And eternal life can only happen when there's complete unity, and that's why there's sin and disintegration and disunity in the evolution of the universe, because it is in process of organization. And because it is in process of organization, it implies that there is disorganization along the way, and this disorganization is what we see as death and sin and disintegration. And it is only when it is completely organized, completely united, completely complexified, that then there will be no more disorganization, there will be no more sin and death, disintegration, in the unity of the omega point, the eternal reality, the alpha and the omega. The omega point does not only happen at the end. Omega point exists here and now, also very key in Teilhard's system. Omega point is the alpha. It is an existing reality that exists even before its completion at the end of the universe, so to speak. Because why Teilhard stresses this is, A, he has to be like the theologians and agree that that God is transcendent of the universe, and B, he also stresses that omega point must be existing even before the universe has reached it, is because omega point is the very reason that the universe is moving in the direction of complexity and consciousness. Omega point is calling it and dragging it. There is no other way to explain for Teilhard why the universe falls in this direction of complexity and consciousness. When you just examine it objectively, why does it move in that direction constantly, everywhere and always? He can find no other reason than to postulate that a complete center of complexity and consciousness is uniting it to itself. Omega point, the alpha and the omega, or Jesus Christ, second person of the Trinity. Yeah. You guys are real good. I like your stuff. Keep it up. Peace out.